now it's time to talk about Carl Nassib. Can you remind people exactly what he did? I mean, obviously he came out as gay, but he also said more about the Trevor Project. Can you explain this? Thank you.
So Carl Nassib is an American football player. He's from Pennsylvania originally. He's a defensive lineman, and he's no slouch. I'd like to start off by saying that. I mean, he's the rotational piece. Honestly, I think he would have a place with Chris Kokerick or Kosirik, however you pronounce that. I think he's a decent player. 20 and a half sacks in his career. He's still a young guy. He's good ball player. He came out, and it said that he's the first player to come out as a homosexual in NFL history. I'm going to kind of annotate that a little bit because it's kind of like what he did is magnificent. And we're going to talk about the way it paves roads for other people, not even just about sexuality, but about the fact of the matter is, as a gay guy, he's basically a minority in the NFL. He might be the smallest minority in the NFL because there are not that many gay players that are open anyway. True. I'm really hoping we'll see more gay players. But above all, he didn't just do this for himself. Obviously, it takes a huge load off of him. It takes a lot of courage to do what he did. I'm very proud of him for doing that. Having been a division commander, I can tell you how difficult it was for lesbian or gay men, lesbian women or gay men or non-binaries, whatever, bisexuals to come and talk to me. And because I identify as lesbian, and have them come and talk to me about, this is the way I am and this is who I am and everything. And just them having to tiptoe in their careers for fear they will not be accepted. And I mean, Nassib, he painted a little bit of a crosshair on his forehead when it comes to his resume. And he knew that coming out. So I'm very impressed with that. Probably the most important thing he did is he gave a platform to, I'm going to kind of stand up a little bit here. You can kind of see this shirt, which I'm wearing, which was sent to me by the same organization that he benefited. They're called the Trevor Project. I get involved with them, Mental Health America and Hot Topic, whom I model for. So I model this shirt. And what it is it basically raises awareness to mental health for the LGBTQ plus community in the United States and abroad. They have a global vision, but it starts here in the US, and Carl Nassib gave $100,000. But it didn't just stop there. Also, people like Julian Edelman, I don't think that guy will ever step away from football. He's a cool guy. I like him.
I like him too.
He's a great guy.
Jewish.
Yeah, he's an actual football player. I don't know what makes him so good sometimes, except just his determination.
Yes.
He's just a football player.
Yes.
He could have played any position. Didn't he play quarterback?
He was a quarterback. He's from over in the Bay Area. He's from Redwood City. He played quarterback.
Why didn't we have him?
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
So anyway, guys like Julian Edelman came out, other football players, and they matched his donation to the Trevor Project. And what that will do for LGBTQ youth is it gives them mental health resources and also, perhaps more importantly, educates the local schools and LGBTQ organizations on how to empower the LGBTQ youth. Because I'm sure Carl Nassib, he would be the first to tell you it wasn't easy growing up in a high macho, high testosterone, very, very secluded environment. We've seen racism, sexism, and homophobia and transphobia. We 49ers fans know about that because of what Colin Kaepernick had to go through. This is all interrelated. That's why the HERE project for the Trevor Project includes more colors in the rainbow than it used to. Because the point is that we're talking about sexuality, but really the point of what he's doing and what Trevor Project did was actually acceptance for every minority and every majority, just everyone.
Right.
And in this particular case, what he's doing is literally saving lives. That's a huge donation to Trevor.
I see exactly what you're saying. And what he's doing is making it normalizing football players being themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever that is.
Exactly. Whatever that is. It's all interrelated. But I want to actually give a shout out to another football player that came out a long time ago, actually. I mean, Michael Sam. Do you remember him? St. Louis defensive line cut before the season, but we all knew about him. And I'm kind of wondering why he's not considered the first gay player to come out in the NFL, because he's the first openly gay player. Not really sure what the difference is here. Very proud of Nassib, don't get me wrong, but I think Michael Sam deserves the laurel. I really do, because he came out as a CFL player.
And he came out before he made the team. I mean, he came out, I think, before he got drafted or during college football when he was at
CFL. I want to say it was in the CFL.
No, I
Yeah,
think
in
he. I
August
think he came.
2015, he came out. He came out as a gay player in the Canadian Football League.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so like,
But yeah,
I
he
kind
was
of think
definitely before Carl Nassib. Yes.
yeah, and I'm kind of wondering why he has not been given a little bit more. Now it was years ago, and I think also it has something to do with it. I'm gonna hit the nail on the head. He's a black football player and he's gay, and that is the hardest thing for the NFL to accept.
Very interesting.
I really think
Very
that's important, and I think Michael Sam deserves a little bit of credit, a lot of credit, perhaps even the laurel itself. But
absolutely.
Nassib he's taken up where Michael Sam left off. He's carried on the charge, and it's just nice to see that someone else is willing to do the same.
And it seems like, if you think about it, when Michael Sam tried to do it, he might have been a little before his time.
Exactly.
There might not have been as much sympathy. It might have been a little bit more okay to be like, "Ew, what's that about?" And now, when Carl Nassib comes, it seems like just the entire country is a little bit more sensitive to these issues. Young people are more attuned to them, and it was very good timing on Carl's part. It was the right time.
It was good timing. I'm glad that it's less comfortable for people to be bigoted in today's world. I'm glad it's more exposed. I'm glad it's more talked about. I also think that Carl Nassib fits the perfect white American Pennsylvanian Dutch boy. He's a registered Republican. And it makes
it a lot. Really? Wow.
He is a registered Republican, which is interesting for him.
Sure. Yeah.
But, you know, having been in the military, I knew some pretty liberal Republicans. So it's interesting where people
It is interesting. What did there was something else I wanted to say about this before.
Well, actually,
go ahead.
We have to give a shout out to a particular coach. A little bit of history here. Vince Lombardi. Pretty good coach by all accounts, from what I hear. You know, he's a great coach. Back in 1969, he went to coach the Washington what they called the Redskins at the time. Both of us know it's the Washington football team. Good call. But back then they were calling them another name, and he took over that team. So when he did, he inherited a tight end that came forward as a homosexual. And so Vince Lombardi was faced with something that, can you imagine 1969, having gay players on your team? I mean, that's like, I can't imagine what that would have been like, what kind of courage that Vince Lombardi had to show.
1969, yeah.
Right. His brother was gay. See, I never knew that until I started looking into this. But Vince Lombardi had a gay brother. So he was exposed to this. He came into his locker room, got all his coaches together. The players weren't there, and he goes, "So here's how it's going to work. Any of you make one comment about their manhood, you will lose your job faster than you land on your ass."
Nice.
That's what he said to them.
Nice.
And
I like that.
He's ahead of his time. And he took, so that gay tight end he took, I think Jerry Smith might have been his name. I have to get back to you on that. First team All-Pro. He was a tight end when he got there. First team All-Pro.
Wow. Shows you what a difference it can make when you're not ostracized.
Exactly. And it's amazing that he changed the culture back then. And he had more actual gay players on his team, and they actually talked to players from the Redskins later on, and they said, yeah, we had no problem with it because Vince Lombardi, he instituted a culture that made it comfortable.
That's amazing. It seems to me that the fact that no professional athletes or before Nassib would ever come out as being gay was something that was very interesting to me, considering 10% of the population statistically is gay. So you're thinking that like 10% of these teams are too. I mean, why wouldn't they be? And you would have to think statistically, a lot of these people can't live the lives they want to live or whatever, like their truths until they're retired and out of the public light or never. And that's terrible. And it seems like Nassib really could help lots and lots of people, lots and lots of professional athletes just not have to be in the closet anymore if they don't want to be. That's a good thing.
I think to be honest with you, perhaps the most important thing was the response from big name players like Julian Edelman.
Good call.
Also, I was reading an article earlier, and I have to agree with it. The NFL got something right. So when they came out at the beginning of Pride Month, they had their little rainbow thing and everything. Everybody was like, they never cared about Colin Kaepernick. They don't care about Pride. This is all cloud chasing. This is just Instagram worthy. That's all they're doing. And then they came out and they said, in response to Carl Nassib and Pride Month, they said, this is a step for acceptance for everyone. And that's basically all the NFL said. And then the NFL goes, whether you're genderqueer, trans, lesbian, minority, or gay. And that's all they said. And it was a black screen with white text.
I believe him too. I really feel like Carl Nassib is good for the league office. But you got to remember, there's two different entities here. There's the league office, and the teams. And they're different, right? And the teams sometimes have more. Exactly. So I thought, like with Michael Sam, the league wanted Michael Sam. They wanted him. And I think teams were like, well, not on my team. Not in this locker room.
They cut him too, for the record. Right. I don't know how good he was, but they cut him.
Right. And so that was the culture in the past. And now I think what's good is that that culture is being blown up. It's not a don't ask, don't tell type of thing. You're allowed to be yourself. And if you're the best player, you'll play. So that's a good thing.
These last 2 years have been very good landscape changing for the NFL. I think there has not been an atonement for Colin Kaepernick yet. There hasn't been. They've kind of just ignored that and moved on to other things. But I do believe that racial relations have improved. I think they are actually starting to take actions and not words. The Washington football team, them issuing a statement on behalf of Carl Nassib, they are also making a donation. I think they're actually taking action for the first time.
With the Kaepernick thing, we can talk about Kaepernick for a second. Again, I feel like this is a difference between the league office and the teams. I think that Roger Goodell would love Colin Kaepernick back in the league. It would only be more publicity, more money, more views, and it would make him look good. But then, so I think the league office would actually want him, which is probably why they put together that tryout that didn't work out. But you have to get a team that wants him, and teams are way different than the league office. Way different, right?
He's definitely better than a lot of starting quarterbacks in this league. There's no doubt about that. He's explosive. He's exciting. I know he has some flaws in his touch and things like that in his reads, but I just feel like he's still better, and he's a freak of nature. Honestly, I hate to bring up Tim Tebow because he's the opposite. He's the anti-Kaepernick. He really is. They're like yin and yang on social and political issues.
They are. That's true.
And yeah, I want to say that about Tim Tebow. I'm going to call it out. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, they did call that out, and I'm so proud of them for doing that. But they made the point. You've got Kaepernick and his liberalism, and you've got Tebow and his conservatism. But wherever you sit within that spectrum, Tim Tebow is still in the league. He is not better than Colin Kaepernick.
No, but I want to say, like,
position change.
He was. I kind of like Tim Tebow.
I want to see Kaepernick position change. I think Kaepernick's a better tight end than Tim Tebow. I really think he would be.
It'd be interesting to see Colin Kaepernick run around. That's what I'm saying. Like, if Colin Kaepernick, I just want to give Tebow credit. He's in great shape. Just want to say that.
Yeah, the dude is in great shape. He's actually heavier than he's ever been.
Yes, and he never would have been back in the league if it weren't for Urban Meyer. And I believe, like, if Jim Harbaugh got a job tomorrow as a head coach, I bet you he would sign Colin Kaepernick. And I bet you he would. And I like that about him.
I wish he would come back to the NFL, honestly. Yeah, take over honestly, I wish he'd taken over the Jaguars.
Yeah, I think he's better suited for the NFL than for college.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I love his style. And he runs a good workout.
I miss him too. He ran a great press conference. He was a lot of fun.
Wasn't it him that brought the Navy SEALs out to do the work? Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
That's Harbaugh. Well, I was thinking that some of you guys would just leave the show, but actually we got more viewers during this conversation about, I'm here for it too. I'm glad we got to talk about it. I'm proud of Carl Nassib, proud of this show, proud of the viewers for being open-minded.
Yes. And I just wanted to say something. I really appreciate, all of you guys. I get a lot of great feedback from you. That was kind of one of my personal missions today, was just to thank you all for your warm welcome. And it's a hell of a family that Cohn has put here together. This Cohn zone, I love it. It's good to be here.
Sometimes the chat room can be really mean, like it's almost like the Apollo in New York. But today it was very open-minded, and I appreciate it. It was a good show. Thank you. It was all Sybilla's idea too. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we still bounce our ideas off each other. So Grant, give yourself a pat on the back. You help facilitate this platform. And even if 10 people were to listen to this show, that's 10 people who might have a more informed opinion. So
we got 230 people in here right now. Okay. They stuck around. We did pretty good. This was a good one. Thank you very much. What do you got going on today? What's on the docket for you?
All right. So, funny enough, I'll be working out.
Not nice.
There's the topic that it seems like I keep getting back to is I'm going to work out, and I promise you, everyone, I'm activating and deactivating. So I've got a guy. Have you been?
I lifted yesterday for 25 minutes, and I didn't activate or deactivate. I'm really proud of that. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so like,
but I don't lift that heavy. It's not like I'm going to hurt myself, I don't think.
Well,
maybe.
I mean, I tore my MCL.
I bench pressed 135 yesterday. Felt pretty good about
it. What'd you do?
I bench pressed 135 yesterday. Look, I used to be stronger, but I didn't lift at all during the pandemic. I'm giving myself excuses.
You know what I always say, guys? Like when guys talk to me about like what they lift, and they're like, "Yeah, I can bench press like 325." I'm like, "Okay,
that's not
how many reps?" They'll be like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "They're like, how many reps?" And I'm like, "Can you do it 5 times?"
No.
And they're like, "No." And they're like, "Well, then that you don't lift 325."
That's true.
It's all about. I call it the 5x5. It's just about 5. It's the 5x5. What can you do 5 sets of 5 with only 2 minutes between each set? That's your bench press routine.
Oh, I'm probably about 95 at that.
But and then the other thing is like not tomorrow, but the day after. Why don't you do a burnout session with a pair of 10s on the bar? Seriously, and just do as many as you can 3 times.
Steve, look, I'm 33 years old. All right, I go to the gym. I hang out for 25 minutes and then I leave. Here's how you know I don't spend enough time in the gym. When I leave, the person at the front desk goes, "Oh, you're done already?" Every time. I'm like, "What's that supposed to mean?" You should see.
Not to say that.
"Oh, you're done already?" Yeah.
Just tell them. Just tell them I did a high interval training, HIT.
Yeah, exactly. HIT. Everyone was impressed.
Yes.
All right, Sybilla. Have a great day at the gym. I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Oh, hold on,
Steven. Everyone. Thank you so much.
Right at the buzzer. Listen, anyone who complains about openly gay players in the NFL are tripping. You mean to tell me sharing a shower room with a grown man isn't it? Grow up. All right, Steven. Steven calls into the Cohn phone every time with his guitar.
Yeah, Steven. Thanks for that comments. I mean, takes a man to say that. Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
But not everybody's on your level, Steven. Not everybody kind of gets it. So people are threatened. People aren't.
And also, it seems like NFL fans in particular are a little late to come around to this, but it seems like they're coming around. I mean,
I have one comment to make on that before we go. Yes. Real quick. One of the reasons that players are homophobic, why there is systemic racism, is because of the herd mentality, that clan mentality of what is considered manly and acceptable behavior by the mass, by the majority.
Right.
And all you need is leadership change. All you need is an environment in which it's cool to accept people.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I had no problem in my division in the U.S. Navy and the Marines with transphobia or sexism or homophobia because I made it uncool to be bigoted in any way. And so suddenly it became an act of manhood to be accepting of everyone. And that's hopefully what Mr. Nassib has done for us. So
I often think of that scene in Billy Madison where Billy's on this field trip with the second graders and one of his friends pees his pants. And Billy pretends to pee his pants too and gets the whole class to pee their pants and to reconsider what they think is cool. It's not really an analogy of what we're talking about, but it's that kind of leadership.
It's that bullying.
It's that leadership. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, you want to make fun of him? Make fun of me. I think it's cool. And that changes everything. Yeah.
Exactly. And one last little fact. The name Nassib, because I wanted to look up where he was from, because the name Nassib is actually an Arabic word. You know what it means?
What?
Destiny or fate.
Well named.
Exactly.
I guess it was destiny or fate, right?
We're here. Exactly. All right. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.